Welcome to Mrs. Moneybags Live. This episode is sponsored by quickequity.ca, getting you to your money fast by providing mortgage solutions to Canadians all across the country. I am your host, Nicole Williams, aka Mrs. Moneybags, and I'm a mortgage agent, agent level 2. We go live Monday to Friday, keeping you informed on the latest mortgage, housing, money, and community news. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, this show is to be used for informational purposes only. So do your own research. And I am so thankful that you have chosen to join us for another episode. I hope you guys had a wonderful evening. And let's get right into it, the mortgage industry news. I hope you guys had a wonderful evening. Okay, so let's get right into it. Here is your summary of mortgage and housing news from across Canada for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Can you believe it's the end of the month already? Wow, where did January go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? I hope everybody is on task when it comes to their goals. It is the last day of the month, so let's get right into the industry headlines. So, Toronto Mayor's Executive Committee endorses a 10% speculation tax on foreign home buyers. Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow's executive committee voted Tuesday in favor of creating a new municipal tax on foreign home buyers who purchase property in Toronto. If approved by the full council next month, the municipal non-resident speculation tax, or known as MNRST, would make foreign nationals pay an additional 10% on the purchase price of residential properties starting in January 2025. The city staff recommendation sailed through the committee by a show of hands. It's an issue that's been well debated by other levels of government, and the executive committee members today endorsed it without much debate because it's been talked about for quite a few years, Chow told reporters outside the meeting. It's a change that we should have made before, and I'm glad that we are doing so. The tax is meant to discourage international buyers from purchasing homes in Toronto in order to protect housing supply and to maintain affordability, according to a city staff report, particularly among speculative investors and those who don't plan to live in the properties they purchase. It's the latest move councillors hope will address Toronto's housing supply and affordability crisis. Chow said while data from other governments shows speculation taxes somewhat work, she admitted foreign buyers are responsible for only a slight contribution to the housing crisis. We have a housing crisis of supply, and because we have not built housing, affordable housing, rent geared to income housing for people for several decades. Municipal tax to mirror the provincial tax. Toronto's tax was designed to mirror the Ontario government's non-resident speculation tax, the staff report says. The provincial tax was introduced in 2017 at a rate of 15% and initially only covered purchases in the greater Golden Horseshoe area of southern Ontario, but it has since been expanded to the entire province and raised to 25%. The province collected more than 1 billion for its tax between 2017 and 2022, approximately half of which came from the purchases in Toronto. According to the report, data for 2023 is still being finalized, but staff expect it to be down due to the impact of a 2-year federal ban barring most foreign buyers from purchasing residential property. When charged on top of existing municipal and provincial land transfer taxes, city staff expect the tax to deter speculative real estate purchases and, where it doesn't, to contribute to the city's budget. Staff estimate the tax could bring in between 14 million and 15 million in revenue in 2025, according to the report. However, that estimate is best based on a scenario where the federal government lifts the foreign buyer ban. If the ban is extended, staff say it would bring in up to 9.6 million. The tax would cover land purchases of up to 6 family residences, which includes detached homes, semi-detached homes, townhouses, and condos, according to the report. It won't cover purchases of multi-residential apartment buildings with more than 6 units, agricultural land, commercial land, or industrial land. The municipal tax will apply to foreign nationals and foreign controlled companies, with exemptions for people who are nominated under Ontario's Immigrant Nominee Program and protected persons, including refugees. Foreign nationals who purchase homes jointly with a spouse who is a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, nominee, or protected person will also be exempted from the tax. Critics say focus should be on housing. Nominee or protected person will also be exempted from the tax. Critics say focus should be on housing supply, local investors. Some experts say the tax may have a small impact because it targets such a small number of sales. I understand it's a sort of low-hanging fruit for a lot of policymakers. At the same time, what we really want to see at the municipal, provincial, and federal level is that continued focus on housing supply. So, what are your thoughts on the latest news to come from the city of the city of Toronto, with the new foreign buyer tax? What are your thoughts? So, you have to remember, if you're purchasing a property in the city of Toronto, the article did cover it. You are paying land transfer taxes. And if you are now a foreign buyer, on top of the land transfer tax, you will have the speculation tax for both the Ontario government and the City of Toronto. What are your thoughts on this new tax and what the government's plans are to earmark these funds and what they plan on doing with these funds? Do you agree? Drop your comments below. Let's get discussing. And because I do want to hear from you, what are your thoughts on this recent announcement? What are your thoughts? Let's get into the second article. So, property taxes in major Canadian markets changes over the past decades and where they're at now. So, again, let's talk about property taxes. We know as a collective that prices are going up. Inflation has just been rearing its head, and everybody is trying to figure out how to manage. So, as municipalities across Canada are announcing budgets for the upcoming year, an increase in property taxes has shown to be a common recurring theme, like the 2% to 15% hikes in British Columbia and Ontario. Zucasa looked at the tax increases over the past 10 years in 6 major markets and how this year stack up against them. So let's take a look. So first, let's talk about Calgary and Vancouver, opposite routes in property tax changes. While both Vancouver and Calgary are proposing more than a 7% increase in property taxes for 2024, however, a closer look at their historical rate reveals contrasting paths. In 2014, Vancouver's residential property tax stood at 0.367794%, and the proposed rate for 2024 is 0.298925%, indicating an 18.7% decline. Although Vancouver's property tax rate has consistently remained below 0.3% since 2017, the anticipated 2024 rate is poised to be the highest since 2016. So homeowners with a property assessed at $500,000 might be looking at approximately $1,495 in property taxes, while those with $1 million assessment could face around $2,989 in property taxes. Calgary, on the other hand, has seen a 14.7% increase in the property tax rate since 2016. If the city's proposed 7.8% increase for this year goes ahead, the rate will rise from 0.657180% in 2023 to 0.70844% in 2024. For a property assessed at $500,000, this would mean shelling out approximately $3,542 in taxes, more than double the amount a Vancouver homeowner would pay for a similarly assessed property. Winnipeg, the highest rate consistently declines. Despite the fact that Winnipeg has the highest property tax rate among the analyzed cities, it has seen taxes go down by 3.9% since 2014. The residential tax rate, which was 2.8481% in 2014, is expected to be at 2.736437% in 2024, a 3.5% increase from last year. Ontario cities, large and small jumps. With a proposed 9.5% hike, Toronto will likely have the largest property tax increase since 2023. After Calgary, the city saw the second largest 10-year increase at 8.9%. Toronto homeowners may be looking at around $2,771 in property taxes for a $500,000 assessed property and $5,542 for a $1 million assessed property. Hamilton follows closely with the next largest increase from 2023 to 2024 at 7.9%. However, in the past decade, Hamilton has not experienced as much change. From 2014 to 2024, the property tax rate increased by 3.2%, which is about $7,159 in property taxes for Hamilton homeowners with properties assessed at $500,000. Ottawa looks to have the smallest tax increase from 2023 to 2024, rising by a proposed rate of 2.5%. The speculated 2024 property tax rate of 1.198508% marks a 6.4% boost from the 2014 property tax rate. Ottawa homeowners can anticipate paying approximately $5,993 in property taxes for a property assessed at $500,000. What are your thoughts on the proposed property tax rate increases or decreases, dependent on where you are in the country? Because as we saw, Vancouver went the opposite way. What are your thoughts on the assessed property tax rates? What are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. And what city and municipality are you from? And are you aware of your property tax rate for 2024? Is it gone up? Is it down? Is it flat? What are the approximate costs and values for your taxes if on a $500,000 purchase price? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's get talking. So let's get into today's financial tip of the day. Today's financial tip of the day is to track where your money is going. Keep a money journal and write down all of your income and subtract all of your expenses. A money journal will allow you to see exactly where your money is going and help you to establish positive money habits. So, the money tip for today is to track where your money is going using a money journal and track all of the income coming in minus all of your expenses and really review where your money is going. Today's Mrs. Moneybags money affirmation of the day is today's Mrs. Moneybags money affirmation of the day is I deserve to be financially abundant and prosperous. I deserve to be financially abundant and prosperous. Let's say that together 3 times. I deserve to be financially abundant and prosperous. I deserve to be financially abundant and prosperous. I deserve to be financially abundant and prosperous. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Mrs. Moneybags Live. We'll see you again tomorrow.